Greetings, invaders and musicians. I'm Kevin, and this is 11 Elden Things in Mohgwyn and the Haligtree. As always, the rules are in the description. You have 10 seconds to skip to the map-only timestamp if you want. Feel free to explore the map there, but for everyone else, let's get to the list. So the thing that the Haligtree and Mohgwyn have in common is that they can both be accessed by teleporters in the consecrated snowfield area. However, since Mohgwyn can be explored earlier in the game, I'm going to be covering it first. There are two ways to get into Mohgwyn. The first involves the Vare Invader questline, and the second is just a late game teleporter. If you are already late in the game, you can go here in the consecrated snowfield and interact with this teleporter to be transported into the southeast region of Mohgwyn. If you want to get here earlier in the game, you're going to have to interact with Vare, who is the guy with the white mask who says you have no maidens. Interact with him and follow his questline to get an item that will transport you sooner. Now you can first talk to him here at Limgrave, where after beating one of the Elden Lords and talking to the two fingers in the hub area, return to him. He will then move to this area in Lernia of the Lakes, where he will give you some invading items. Now there are two ways to progress further from this point. Originally, the only way to progress past this point was to invade 3 people using the items that Vare had given you. However, in a more recent patch, From has given us the option to skip the online necessity entirely by allowing us to go here in the Altus Plateau, and I believe there is a summon sign in this ruin where you can go to this invader's area instead. You do not need to be online anymore, you can just fight an NPC invader instead. Regardless, once you finish that, you can return to Vare and he will give you a reusable teleporting item, which he tells you not to use. Use it immediately. Your starting location in Mohgwyn may be different depending on which method you chose to get here in the first place. But regardless, number 1 is located here in Mohgwyn. At these locations, there are 2 caves where you will be able to get the Ash of War blood tax and the spell Swarm of Flies. A warning, do not underestimate the enemies in this area, they can kick your ass. Number 2 is located at these 3 locations where you'll be able to get the War Surgeon set. Now the method to get this set involves defeating 3 NPC invaders. Defeating any invader will not give you a piece of the item, you will have to defeat all 3 and the last one will give you the set. You can then cosplay as Whiteface Vare and tell other people that they have no maidens. For number 3 in Mohgwyn, we are going to travel to this location and get the Haligtree Talisman +2. It should be in front of the gravestone. It's not much more complicated than that, you get the gist. For number 4, we're going to be paying our good friend Vare a visit. A good thank you for sending us to this hellhole. We're going to be continuing his questline forward. Going through the caves, you'll be able to interact with a summon sign, where after an encounter, you'll be able to get Vare's bouquet, which I believe is a mace disguised as a bundle of flowers. How nice. One final thing before we move on to the Haligtree, remember that after beating the boss in this area, you will have to go to this tower in order to activate your Great Rune. This tower is the only tower in the game where you will have to activate 2 runes instead of the normal 1. A lot of people don't realize this, but yes, both the Capital Rune and the Mohgwyn Rune get activated at this specific tower. There's a reason for that, just don't forget to do it. Alright, we're here. The long-awaited Haligtree video. Finally! So the first portion that we're covering here is this early tree branch region of the Haligtree. There are 2 main items that you could miss here. Following this path that I am showing you here, you should be able to go to the edge of the branch and get the Envoy Crown. Aside from this, going the other direction to the base of the branch, way up here, following this path, you will be able to get the Oracle Envoy Ashes. There's also a lost Ash of War in this area, but whatever. Moving on. Number 6 is consisting of the region where the trees slowly become sort of a ruin type architecture. In this region, there are, again, 2 main things that you could possibly miss. The first is very early on and involves a little bit of parkour, and you will be able to get the Pearl Drake Talisman +2. Just go over this impressive jump, and it'll be on the other side. The other item you can find much later on towards the end of this area. Going from this side of Grace, you can go forward and to these rooftop sort of area. And again, it's going to require some parkour. You must jump forward and then back again. This last jump is quite difficult, actually. You very likely are to fall. Try to jump from the higher point of the roof like this. But once you go through this little house here, you should be able to get the Viridian Amber Medallion +2. All right. Now we're getting to the real nitty-gritty of the Haligtree. You know you're in the right area when you see this small church. Starting from here, there are 2 gargoyle gates directly to the right going downward. Each of them require a stone sword key. The top one allows you to get the triple ring of light, and the one further down will allow you to get Marika's sword seal. You will be able to drop down to the first one easily, however, you will have to go around in order to get the lower one, otherwise you will die of fall damage. You just have to run along this bridge here and drop down a couple times and it'll be right at the bottom. Alright, so the area for number 8 is big, like really big. This is the same region as the one from number 7, but this is including every item that is not obtained using a stone sword key. I'm going to be referring to this region as the wall. Returning to that long bridge area on the wall that you see over here, you'll be able to have an encounter where you will get the rotten staff. Aside from this, you can go backwards up this ramp and towards this long branch to return to the main path. From here, you can go down and over this banister, jump across to this gazebo area, and you'll be able to get the Cleanrot Knight Finlay summon. It'll be in a chest in this back nook area. Moving from here, going upward, you can travel towards this room, and inside of a chest there will be the Michaelan Knight Sword. And moving further along, you'll be able to get one of the 2 seedbed curses that are in this region. There's another one really close by, going back the way we came, and going down, 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 down. Alright, I get it! And in this dark room, you'll be able to get the other seedbed curse. The area for number 9 can be described as where the end of the wall meets the large hall area. Traveling through this path to the outer edge of the wall, going further along it to the end, you'll come across this clearing where you can get the Haligtree Soldier Ashes. Traveling from here up this banister and jumping across, you will be able to get the Haligtree Knight Helm. And finally, once inside, past the Site of Grace, you can go left over these roots to get the Rotten Crystal Sword. Number 10 will be covering the last big region of the Haligtree. We will be getting 2 items here, which are basically on top of each other. Starting from this sewer area here, you will travel out, and normally you would go down this branching pathway all the way into this big clearing. However, the only items in this big clearing are like consumables and crafting materials, and that's not where we're going for. So instead of doing that, we're going to go up on this higher path here, jump across, and get on the roof of this sort of chapel building. Hopping inside onto the rafters, we will jump onto the highest floor where we will be able to get the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. After this, you can go down to the bottom floor and take the elevator down where you can go out and left and find the Traveler Clothes set in front of this giant flower. With this set, you can cosplay as Melina and remind people that they still have no mages. The last thing we're going to be covering is everything to do with Millicent in this area. If you haven't gotten Millicent to this point, I'm going to go over the questline very quickly. Be prepared because there is a lot. So, starting from the lake in Caelid, you will complete an encounter here to get a key item, which you will bring to this location at Gallery's Shack. Give the item to him and he will repair it, and then come back again and he will give it back to you. You then want to bring the item up here and give it to Millicent, rest and talk to her multiple times until she moves down back near Gallery's location. Then go back down to Gallery's Shack and talk to her until she leaves and it's only Gallery left there alone. Once it's only Gallery, you'll be able to find Millicent here at the Altus Plateau. In order for her to move from this location, you need to travel here into the Shaded Palace and get the prosthetic item and give that to her. Then travel here to the east and clear everything inside of the Windmill Village. She will move to the top of this area. Talk to her there, and she will then move to the mountaintop of the Giants. Go here in the mountaintop of the Giants, underneath the bridge, and you can talk to her, and then she will move to the Haligtree. Finally, now that she's in the Haligtree, you can talk to her in the starting church area, but wait, there's more. Once you've talked to Millicent inside of the church area, head to the sewer that we were at before from number 10, but this time go back the opposite direction. From here, you want to go up and over this tree branch into this sort of island area. Clear all the enemies that would spawn in on this island. You want to make sure this encounter is done and everything is clear on this island. Then, go back to the sewer and come here again, and in this far corner, you'll be able to find 2 summon signs. A yellow summon sign and a red summon sign. It's time for a choice. Picking the yellow summon sign will allow you to get the Rotten Winged Sword insignia, which is a charm that increases your attack power temporarily after successive attacks. Picking the red summon sign will let you get the prosthesis charm, which is a talisman that boosts dexterity by 5 and also raises attack power with successive attacks. You can only get one of these per playthrough. You have to play the game again or go into New Game Plus in order to get the other option. Regardless of what you pick, once you finish the encounter, head back to where the 2 summon signs were to get your item. After this, head back to Caelid at Gallery Shack and talk to him, and you will be able to get the Phlox Canvas Talisman. Regardless of what you picked, you should be able to get it. Either he'll give it to you, or you can just kill him and he'll drop it for you. It really does not matter. So there's 11 Elden Things in Mohgwyn and the Haligtree. Stick around, I'm going to be showing both of the marker maps here, and I'm going to be transitioning in a second. There we go. And since you've made it this far in the video, might as well stick around to the end. I'm going to be giving some updates on what's going on with the series and what I plan to do in the future. If you want to see the maps, pause now. I'm going to be switching. For those who skipped ahead, here's the maps. No spoilers from this point on. There's going to be 2 maps here. It's going to transition halfway through this discussion somewhere. You'll see it when it happens. Just pause on the one that you want and go back if you have to. But yeah, we finally did Mohgwyn and the Haligtree. We are almost done with 11 Elden Things. I know I'm taking forever, but in one more video, I will have covered everything in the game. So if you're looking forward to that, keep an eye open. And I plan on covering the DLC if that even comes out. I hope there's going to be a DLC. This game is very fun, but hopefully when the DLC comes out and I make videos on that, I'm a bit more timely and I don't make content like months later. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Remember to feed Torrent, praise the ring, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.